Well, hello there, folks. You're joining me out at the big shelter today. Beautiful, actually, just finding these in the way. A nice wee snack, just to sort of keep the energy levels going during the actual day. It's freezing, absolutely freezing. So, going to be trying to keep myself as active as possible, get myself warmed up. Um, but going to be doing a bit of bushcraft today. I've actually decided to make myself a slightly better chair. Chair I've actually got just now is a little bit on the rickety side. So going to build myself something a little bit more substantial. So I've got a plan in my head. So I'm going to head off up into the woods just now, get some resources, bring them back down, and get to work. So the one thing I always do before I actually go out, so say for instance just now I'm going to be going out and cutting wood down to certain measurements or as rough as possible. But rather than just going out into the actual woods and cutting blind, you've got a couple of options really. I've used string in the past where it was actually a case of it's a certain length of actual string. But in this instance I'm just going to measure up an actual stick itself and then take out and everything I cut's going to be to the same measurement. But it's just really a case of actual for the back, for the actual seat itself, and then I'll have the actual arms. So if I can measure everything up to that sort of length, it just saves an awful lot of time rather than having to go and you cut something, take it back, and you find out you've done it a little bit too short. So it's just a case of a little planning ahead. Guys, another wee tip for you as well. You'll see that I've actually got the sheath for my saw over my shoulder just now. If I had £1 for every minute I've wasted wandering around the forest trying to find the sheath for my axe and the sheath for my saw, etc. as well, because they're always generally brown or khaki or whatever it may be. And it can be sometimes a bit of a nightmare when you're wandering around looking for resources. So the likes of the axe, if you're using your axe, just actually pop it, your sheath in your actual pocket itself. And then from the point of view of something like this for the actual saw, just pop it over your shoulder. It means you've got it with you all the time. As soon as you're finished, boom, you can actually pop it back in. I'm just going to finish this bit of wood, take it all back to the shelter, and then we'll start prepping. So before I got the actual wood onto the actual sawing horse itself, I was wanting to get a coffee on, just absolutely parched, so looking forward to it. But the woodland over the last few days has just been absolutely battered. It's been torrential rain, absolutely torrential rain. So I've been away wild camping for the last couple of days. Didn't shoot a video, the weather was just that bad, but a great trip, really, really good. Memorable for the amount of rain. But starting fires in this sort of conditions can actually sometimes be a little bit harder than normal, obviously because everything's so wet. Now you can still use birch bark and things like that as well, but I'm a wee bit tight for time today, so I'm actually going to use one of my wee hacks. So it's actually just cotton wool and Vaseline. So basically just if you actually just dip the actual cotton wool ball in the actual Vaseline itself, pop that in the actual fire, and then either use a ferro rod or alternatively a match or a lighter or whatever to actually get it going. It will actually just take very, very quickly. Now, considering how wet it's actually been down at the lower camps, I'm actually still going to use a little wood burning stove. I know it would be perfectly safe to actually get a fire going down in this particular pit, but I've always actually had a wood burning stove in this particular one, so I'm just going to carry on the habit and make sure I don't break it. So I'm afraid there's nothing more exciting than a bacon roll and a nice cup of coffee for lunch today. But looking forward to it nonetheless. So just going to finish this off and then just get straight back to actual work. Rain's might be coming in quite heavy this afternoon, so I want to try and get as much done before the rain actually kicks in. So just going to finish this. Well, that's the weather come in a couple of hours earlier than it was meant to. A bit frustrating. As I just don't want to get the camera equipment all sort of wet and everything. So I'm going to stay in here for as long as I can, just to try and actually sort of tidy up the holes there just now, in the hope that it maybe sort of dies off a little bit and I get a wee bit more done. Just absolutely gutted. The weather forecast that was actually meant to be coming in sort of in about 3 hours has actually come in quite a bit earlier. So just had to sit out the last rain shower there just now. It was just absolutely torrential. But I was hoping it might improve a little bit, but it actually looks as if it's just going to be getting worse. There's a mountain I can normally sort of see in the background there, but I just can't see it. It's completely and utterly covered. So I'm going to head, unfortunately, so it's going to be a case of hopefully getting to the woods again in the next couple of weeks and get the chair developed on a little bit further. But thanks very much for watching. Take care. Hopefully you've enjoyed what I've managed to get done so far today, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.